We understand everyone's got busy lives. So welcome everybody. My name's Emma and I'm the coordinator at the Port Environment Centre down in Port Adelaide. I always start events. It feels a bit different when you're doing it online, but I think it is really important to start events with an acknowledgement of country, recognising, I'm coming to you tonight from the lands of the Kaurna people. And I'd imagine most people that are on kind of Adelaide Plains would be the same, but we'll also have some people from further afield tonight. So Nadlu Tampinthi Kaurna Yatanga Imperenthi means we pay our respects and acknowledge this is Kaurna land. A little bit about, I always feel emotional after that. Oh, sorry. I know it's only small and short, but it's so important, especially in these times at the moment. So Port Environment Centre, if you haven't encountered us before, we're a small community-led space in Port Adelaide. We received some funding from Green Adelaide and also from our local council, the City of Port Adelaide Enfield, and from the Suzanne Elliott Charitable Trust. And that allows us to be an environmental hub for the community. So we put on a whole stack of events and activities, mostly in person, but sometimes online as well, across all sorts of topics around living sustainably, understanding and connecting with local environments. So everything from, how to get native plants into your gardens, to veggie gardening, to walks in the local area. We're also a place that people can just drop in and access a whole stack of information and resources. So if you're ever down in the port, come and visit. And then we also work quite closely with a lot of the environmental groups in the area. So we promote what they're doing, we provide a place for them to have their meetings, and we also help people connect and find volunteering opportunities. So if you're in Adelaide, give us a follow. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and we've also got a mailing list, and we try and keep you all updated. There's always a lot happening. But tonight's special, having Bridget here has meant we've also kind of reached out to a lot of regional South Australian people and a few people interstate too. So yeah, welcome. I'm really excited, and I'm going to hand over to Bridget to, run the rest of the session.
Thanks, Emma. We were able to do this workshop last year, and we thought it'd be a great opportunity to give everyone a reminder that Christmas is really a time of joy and celebrating with the people that are important to us. And sometimes it gets a bit hijacked by marketing into the consumeristic more stuff, when I'd love us to focus on more joy and time together. So today I'm going to be sharing 5 ways we can have more joy and less stuff, and it's not going to cost us the earth as well. So I've just muted everyone as they've come in, but what I'd love is if you could use the chat box to ask any questions throughout the workshop, and then I'll have some opportunities where you can unmute yourself and we can have a back and forward chat as well. We'd love you to share any ideas that are working for you. Emma and I aren't the only ones that have ideas about how to have more joy and less stuff. We really want you to cross-pollinate and share what's working with you. Already, Kate has shared with us that this year she's having secondhand items as her gift, and that excites me. And when I show you this first slide, you'll understand why it's so important that we have that circular economy of buying from op shops and not just dropping off at op shops. So I will share my screen with you all. And Emma, I'll leave you to let people in as we go through. And I'll just move the screen around so I can see here. This photo will make me emotional, like Emma before with her acknowledgement of country. So this is my local salvo in Kadina. And almost 2 years ago, on the 6th of January, this was the first day that the op shop was open after the Christmas break. Between Christmas and New Year's, they are closed. But that is my then 10-year-old, and the piles of stuff are almost as high as him. So I'd anticipate he's probably about 130 centimetres there. So over a metre high of stuff that is really an example of the amount of stuff we're buying, particularly at Christmas time, and the amount of stuff that we need to get out of our house to make room for the Christmas gifts that have come in during that time. And if I can leave you with one thing, and a really important thing, if you do, we all need to declutter, and donating quality goods to op shops is so important. Well, probably 2 things. The 2 things I want you to remember is please shop first at your op shop. Don't just drop things off there, really shop there. And secondly, if you've had this clutter in your home for the last year, if you ever go to an op shop and the bin is full, or there's already bags outside of it, please just hold on to those donations that little bit longer, because depending on the rules of the op shop, they may not actually accept these goods if they've been out in the rain, or there might be a chance that vermin's got into it. So what I'd love us to do is focus more on giving maybe experiences or things rather than the physical things that are clogging up our life. As we go through, I'll be sharing some pages from a free workbook that you'll be sent tomorrow, but I'll just share the link in the chat set so you can start having a look through it. But I'll be asking you to pause and spend a minute or two to do some of the tasks, because I love learning, and I'm sure you do too by being here, but we see the change when we take some action. So I'm a lover of trying to find 1% of your days, which is 14.4 minutes to take an action. So maybe while we've got 4% of your day, which is an hour, maybe you can use some of this time to really start taking the action and make a to-do list of things you're going to do to reduce the excess clutter in your Christmas. So I am a big fan of clearing clutter and finding time. And I really believe that time is our most precious asset. We sometimes give it away for free and think we need to hold on to the money, but let's really flip the narrative and really focus on, moving towards living our lives where we collect moments, not things. And we can have less stress, less clutter, and less pollution when we focus more on the time rather than stuff. So that is a big mantra that you'll hear me talk about quite often. And what I love when we do focus on the time and really reducing that clutter, we can have some amazing benefits. There's less crap that ends up in our homes. We can have stronger relationships with the people around us because we're spending more time together rather than being separated on different devices. And interestingly, if we can free up 5 hours of our time a week, that's the equivalent to $12,000 worth of your time if we use some ABS statistics around in-kind time. And another, if you want physical cash back into your life, some research has showed most homes have about $7,000 worth of stuff that they could sell in your home. And I was letting everyone know before, I'm not sure if you can see behind me, I've got a pile of things that I've got ready to put on Facebook Marketplace when we were doing some room clear out. So let's look at clear clutter, find time, and let's also remember that bottom one down there, modeling for the next generation what our homes and lives can look like. So today is the second week. I know it's very early, but we've just started with our 10 and almost 12-year-old, having them cook dinner on a Tuesday night, obviously with mine or my husband's support, but modeling to them that it's not just mums aren't maids and it's not just me in the kitchen, that both of us and all men and women can be part of keeping a household tidy. So these are the people that are living in my family. An Elvis-loving husband who we actually renewed our wedding vows for our 10th wedding anniversary at the Parks Elvis Festival. And this is a picture, I think he was about 10 there or 9, and Miss now 10, but she's for about 7 there. And what I hope to do, and my wife for my life, is that I want to live a life where I collect moments and explore with the people that are important to me, my family and my friends. So this is just a little snapshot of our annual family holiday. We save up for a year and involve the kids in the process for planning where we're going to go. The kids wanted to go to snow, so we saved up 18 months to go to the ski trip. And then when we were coming back from the ski trip, we asked them again what they wanted to do, and they wanted to see a crocodile. And then it was Mr. Farmer's turn to pick somewhere. So in January 2020, before the world flipped upside down, we went over to the Parks Elvis Festival. And this is also a strategy we use to reduce little clutter coming into our home. So we talk to the kids about, we might not be buying as much little knickknacks from Target and K-Hub as maybe their friends do, or we might not have as much takeaway during the week. So we're saving that money into a holiday account so we can get out and collect moments rather than the stuff. So that's a little bit of a background about me. And some of you know this story, but I'll just leave it up there for a little moment. But I actually moved to the country not as a minimalist. I came here almost 19 years ago, just over 19 years ago, for a job with 60 pairs of high heel shoes after being a working in the David Jones shoe department. And slowly over time, we built up more and more stuff into our life and more time commitments until when I had in June 2015, it just became too much. That mental and physical load of being a mum, wife, a part-time employee, managing everything in the home became too much. And then we took baby steps to involve the family more in the things that it takes to run a household and really strip back the physical stuff in our home, saying no to commitments. And I know particularly for country people and probably people interested in the Port Environment Centre, it was also saying no to some volunteer commitments for a short period of time so I could free up some time, so I could really reduce my mental load. And yeah, we could focus more on collecting moments, not things. And so far in 2023, we're up to 27 mini moment getaways. So that's me getting away from the farm for 24 hours to do something. Most of those have been with my family. Some have been with one or both kids. Some have been just my husband and I, and some have been to catch up with friends as well. But that's really how we focus on collecting moments, not things, and making time for family love, making time for couple love, and making time for self-love. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And as I mentioned, my problem is not one that I'm in isolation. June 2015 is not something that other people don't go through. And really that mental load, that invisible labor it takes to run a household, which typically falls on the women's shoulders, is something we all need to notice, talk about more, and make changes for reducing it. And that's what we're going to touch on today, with a real focus on how we can make some changes for the Christmas period and reducing potentially in a lot of homes, it's the mums or the sisters or daughters or in-laws doing a lot of the Christmas work. We're going to talk about communicating and stop focus noticing, so more people can take on the mental and physical load of doing Christmas. This is another key quote that I want you to think about. We talk about juggling all these balls in our life, but I want you to drop the ball, but put a new spin on it. I want you to release the unrealistic expectations of doing it all and engage others to achieve what matters most to us, which will deepen our relationships and enrich our lives. We live on a hamster wheel of life and keep doing the same thing over and over again, getting resentful generally sometimes to the people around us, but we do have the power to stop, focus, notice, and make a change there with the people that we love. And yes, there's still some complaining in our household as well, but for the most part, our family and the kids recognize that, yeah, it takes a village and it takes a household to get everything done, so we can all have more free time to enjoy ourselves. I believe that sometimes we keep trying to keep up with the Joneses, and marketing, social media, the advertisements, the emails we're getting, particularly for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, are giving us that push to buy more. And then Christmas, for some people, has become that culture of excess, but we have the opportunity to work out what Christmas looks like for us and let the Joneses go to do their own thing and hopefully keep more money in our pocket, have less stuff in our home, and enjoy the time with the people that are important to us. And a few extra people have come in since I shared that workbook, and I don't think you can see the past chat, so I'll just share it again there. We'll be going through this chaos-free Christmas workbook and giving you a couple of moments to start actioning some things in there. As I said, it's great to learn, but you'll see changes when you take action. And a great little tip that I would give you is to either, you don't have to print off this workbook, you can just write out your own notes, but to make sure the things you're thinking about now, maybe you can't make all the changes for 2023 Christmas, but maybe you can put some plans in motion for the changes you want to make for 2024 Christmas. And I really encourage you to get it off of your technology, print it off on a piece of paper or print off the workbook, and leave your notes and the changes you want to make and pop them in your Christmas decoration box. So next year, when you open up your Christmas decorations, you're going to have that hard proof of what you thought you wanted to make changes for and ready to go to make changes to 2024 Christmas. So we're going to talk about 5 ways to have more joy and less stuff. And the first one, as always, for anyone that has followed me before, is to stop, focus, notice. Stop doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, and take the time to write down what is upsetting you or frustrating you about an issue, and preferably even talk to other people that might be involved, potentially your family, your broader extended family, if you're having people around for Christmas or you're going other places. And then jot down a whole pile of options that you've noticed that you can make a change with. Then the key step is to trial one of those and see that how that works. If it doesn't have the outcome that you're wanting, you can go through the process again. And when we are actually doing some physical decluttering in our homes, we use another process called the sort, simplify, and systemize process. So, for example, if you're going through Christmas decorations or you're going through your utensil drawer in your kitchen, it's looking about what you currently have and putting like with like and seeing if there's too much of one thing. And then it's looking to simplify. Potentially, if you have 9 or 5 peelers in your drawer, do you ever have 5 people peeling at the same time? Could you reduce the amount you have? And then it's coming up with a system to have logical homes for the things, and then communicating, a key step that a lot of people forget when they organize and declutter. Communicate with the people that it impacts of where the new homes are for things, so your mental load doesn't rise again with everyone asking where everything is. So we'll come back to these stop, focus, notice, and sort, simplify, and systemize as we go through some of these other examples. But what I'd love you to do first is to use the stop, focus, notice when you think about what you want for Christmas. And I'm going to give you a minute. And if you're brave, I'd love if you could share in the chat box what you actually want for Christmas. How do you want to, you can maybe just pick that you want to share with us. But this is what I really want you to maybe at the end of this session, take 5, 10 or 15 minutes to really go through and see what you want Christmas to look like. How do you want to feel this Christmas period? Because it can be broader than Christmas Day. Who do you actually want to see during the Christmas period? What do you want to eat? Maybe you've always had the same thing over and over again, but you're ready for a change. That comes down to the bottom one there. What traditions do you want to continue, or what new ones do you want to start, and what old ones do you want to stop? I've got the kids behind me, but that E and ending in an F thing, I'd really like that tradition to stop. Moving that thing around is not a good one for our home. So have a think about the things you'd love to do during the Christmas period. There's lots of extra events we take on over Christmas, but do you want to actually do them all? And maybe think about some ways you could give back over the Christmas period. So I'll copy and paste those into the chat box, and I'm going to just pause for a minute and get you to actually write down at least one thing from those things there, and share it in the chat box if you want. Thank you, Kate, for already sharing. Excellent. Family in Melbourne. Anyone else want to share what they want for Christmas in the chat box? Day trips without costing a fortune, yes. Quality relaxed time with family and friends. Kids who are happy and grateful for what they have, yes. Lots of books, yes, I'm with you there, Pamela. I'm a lover of our local library. And if hopefully everyone is a member of their local library, and if you don't know, you can get any book delivered from any library in South Australia to your local library. And we are very lucky here in the Copper Coast. We have a 24-hour library access. So I can put an order in, get that text message to say it's arrived. It's almost like a Christmas present when I find out, not sure which one's going to arrive, and pick it up at any time. So yes, that's a great service. Just mute. Yeah, I'd love to be able to help someone out in need. Puddle jumpers, I'm not sure. I think they're near Emma in Port Adelaide, in the middle of, I've driven down Port Road a few times, and they've got a food bank in the middle. And I was talking to their founders, and they accept volunteers that can just be sort of a once off and things like that. You don't have to commit for a long period of time. So maybe that is something you could do there as well. All right, thank you for sharing there. We'll move on, but yeah, keep thinking about that for you going forward. And while we were talking about having less stuff, I'm not the Grinch, and I recognize that we're still going to have some stuff in our lives. I adore Christmas, and as a professional organizer, some people think that I don't have any things in my home, but we actually have Christmas doonas that come out for 2 months of the year. And I've just invested in some Christmas jumpers for the family. The kids are quite big jumpers, so they'll get a few years out of it. And our Christmas decorations, excuse me, are almost a bit of a memory tree for us. I used to collect Christmas decorations from holidays we took. So it's not about having no stuff, but if you do invest in some Christmas items, please make them things that you're going to use for multiple years and not just a once off and put them in the bin. So this is our 3rd year with our Christmas doonas, and in our house we just have 2 doonas, the one that's on for 10 months of the year, and then our Christmas doona, which comes out for 2 months of the year. And we have decluttered our spaces so there is space to store our beautiful Christmas decorations, including Christmas cutlery and plates as well. So step 2 for more joy and less stuff is to plan and communicate with people that are in your life and wanting to simplify Christmas. Kids, yes, there is sometimes that keeping up the Joneses with kids. They see what other people are getting and can want more. So it is important to communicate them with what are your family norms and expectations of what's going to be coming into your home. But a good reminder is to set that Christmas budget. And we actually have a gift bank account for birthdays, Christmas presents, and any gifts that we would be buying for family and friends. So every fortnight amount that works for us, there is not a set amount, goes into that gift holiday account. Or there's actually a separate holiday account for us doing things. So maybe have a look and stop, focus, notice how much you've spent this Christmas, 2023. Divide that by 26 and maybe make some fortnightly deductions into a separate bank account so you can be prepared for Christmas 2024. Does anyone do anything like that with maybe share in the chat box with what you do for Christmas budgeting? Do you have a plan for how much you spend, and does the budget stick with what happens in your life? Also, remember to budget your time. I've actually just started a podcast, and when I was looking at Christmas, I only have 5 evenings between the 1st of December and Christmas Day where we don't have something on. So it's really important to look at how you're spending your time, and if you're going to be doing things for Christmas that take a lot of time, you have to factor in that time when you're doing things, or is there some things you can delegate to other people to do? And it's about thinking about everything involved with running Christmas. In the workbook, I'll leave you to think about this after the session, but just do a big brain dump of everything that's involved for Christmas for your family. Who's buying the presents? Who's thinking of the gifts? How are you getting an idea of what people will want? Are you buying for your husband's family, your friends? Are you the one coordinating events for people? Are you the one hosting Christmas? Are you traveling? Who's doing the travel? This is all the mental load and the physical load that it takes to run Christmas. And I suggest if you actually write down that list and put who is currently doing it, I think that's the next one. Yeah, we'll talk about delegating. It'll be interesting to see if there's some places where you can delegate. So after the session, if you haven't done already, get that note section out in your phone or on a piece of paper or into the workbook and just write down everything that's involved in running Christmas. And the key word that I love is simplify. And that is step 3. Once we've got that list of everything that's being that needs to happen for Christmas. Let's work out what doesn't actually have to happen anymore and what can be delegated to other people, so you don't have to hold on to all the things, and particularly the ones that no longer serve you. If you look at your big Christmas brain dump, I encourage you to look at the top 3 or 5 things that you want to do, or maybe things that only you can do. And then have a look and see what Christmas traditions you're just doing because you always have done and maybe are no longer serving you. And what can you outsource to other family members or businesses to do for you? Could you get some platters made up by Woolies or Foodland? And yeah, is there any way you can pay someone to do some things if you don't have the time to do it? Who's going to prepare what for Christmas? Is there a way of making whoever is coordinating Christmas, maybe you do it this year and then next year someone else takes the lead for the coordination, and then there can be a bit of a guide for who's bringing what salad or who's bringing what food. So it's around working out what works for you and your family in this season of your life. For our families, for my husband's family and my family, we used to try and do Christmas all on one day, but with a 2 and a bit hour drive between where we live from Adelaide to the Yorke Peninsula, we had decided very early on to split Christmas across multiple days. So we're lucky with all the extended family. We can do Christmas Day with my husband's side of the family one year, and then do my family Christmas on the weekend before Christmas. And then the following year, we do Christmas Day with my family and my husband's family the weekend before Christmas. So this year we are hosting my husband's family on Christmas Eve, and then my family is coming to stay from Adelaide Christmas Eve night, and they'll also stay Christmas night as well. So I will be rinsing and repeating what I do for both Christmases to simplify it for us, and outsourcing and delegating to other family members to do different tasks as well. So once you've got your brain dump list, I really encourage you to work out what needs to be done when. Try and get as much of it done as early as you can away from Christmas Day, and then potentially even make a timeline of what needs to be done on Christmas Day or in the lead up. So it's really out of your head and reduce your mental load, because you're not doing it all. So this is in the workbook as well. Does anyone currently have a system like this that works for you to allocate different tasks to people, or break up Christmases between different people organising each year? Let me know in the chat box. I also encourage you to use your calendar. As I said, I can see from my calendar we have a very busy December. My son's 12th birthday is in 2 days. My husband's 40th is in 12 days. December is a busy period for us, and I could not get everything done and understand what's happening in our family if it wasn't written in our Google Calendar. I finally got my husband to download the Google app, and he can see my calendar and see what is happening, to avoid him asking me all the time what's happening or can we fit something in here. So if you don't already, I encourage you to consider if a Google Calendar shared between your family members is something that could work for you as well. If you have a Gmail email account, you already have an automatic Google Calendar linked with your Google account. So that's something to consider. And number 4 is work out what you truly want to do during the Christmas period. And remember, if you want to keep some memories, first you have to live them. There are a lot of Christmas events that come up in our lives, and Christmas parties, as I said, December birthdays for us. We have a school concert potentially on Thursday. Fingers crossed that this weather holds out and we're able to hold it and we don't have to put another day in to make it happen. Friend catch-ups, family catch-ups, and volunteering. Something that works well for us, and if you're a business owner that does Christmas events, one of the companies we work with actually holds off on running their annual Christmas event till February, March, and they hold an event during the Fringe Festival or a racing event. So we can still have that time with that company, but away from the Christmas period. So maybe for next year, if you have a business, you could consider holding your business event outside of December to simplify things for your clients going forward as well. But yeah, have a look and see which Christmas events you actually want to attend and what you want to do. Sorry, I'm just letting people in. And what does hosting Christmas or attending Christmas look like for you? And is that what you want to keep doing? As I mentioned, doing the travel and doing everything on Christmas Day, we tried it, but when we stopped Focus Notice, it was more exhausting for us than trying to split it up. We weren't able to spend that quality time with the family and sneak in an afternoon nap, which is now a general staple for our Christmas Day. So we stopped Focus Notice, and luckily all the extended in-laws lined up and we could do the alternating Christmas Day with our families, but see what could work for you. Can you do a low cook or a no cook option? Could you outsource some cooking, or does everything need to be a hot meal? Some people enjoy cooking at Christmas time. That is not me. So we generally go the low cook option, or as having as many Christmas items cooked in advance and stored safely in our fridge at the right temperature to free up our time on Christmas morning. With technology, we can sometimes find that people are spending more time or spending a lot of time looking at their phones. And something that we did in 2018 was we let everyone know early that we were going to pop all the phones in a box. And there was this note, I think it's actually a Thanksgiving note that I found online. And we just popped everyone's phone in a box. We encouraged people to bring cameras to take actual photos. And we really noticed a difference at Christmas, that people were talking more and not sneaking off to their phone to get their social media hit, and they got their social hit by actually talking to the people around them. So that might be something you want to try for Christmas Day, or any other social events you have going forward, to encourage people to enjoy the company of those around them, not in the online world. And what does Christmas Day look like for you? This was the last time we hosted my family for Christmas, and we had 16 people staying in our house. And I did a Christmas cake that was a frozen Christmas cake. There's little pieces of Christmas cake in there, plus some ice cream and lollies as well. And being an ice cream cake, we could make it, I think I made it a week or two in advance. So that's not something I had to do on Christmas Day. I'm a big fan of gift vouchers or experience gifts. So I was able to do my most of my shopping at Woolworths with the gift vouchers they had there. And then we spent a lot of our Christmas Day enjoying time together, playing board games, out in the pool. My uncle made a COVID-themed pinata that was a new Christmas tradition we added in. And there's my mum asleep on the couch. I think most people had an afternoon nap as well. So what does Christmas look like for you, and what's some new traditions you want to add in there? And a good favorite is the old Uno. And another favorite is a game called Sequence that we've played with 6-year-olds and 67-year-olds. So some good family fun there as well. Who do you have to buy for? Gosh, the amount of, we're talking about stuff here. Is there some different ways you could look at the giving of things over your Christmas period? And also recognizing that there are generational differences when it comes to giving gifts. We need to consider what Christmas looked like for particularly our grandparents and even our parents. A lot of people didn't have much for their Christmas, so they experience giving love by giving what they didn't have when they were kids. That is where that communication element comes in, and explaining to grandparents and great grandparents that you want to enjoy their time rather than have the massive pile of plastic things coming into your home, which a lot of time ends up at the front of the salvos a few weeks later. There's another statistic that 1% of Christmas gifts are used 6 months later. I would actually suggest a lot of things are broken within that first week of Christmas and thrown away. So we really just stop, focus, notice what gift giving looks like for us. For us, in our home, Father Christmas brings a smaller gift, and the bigger thing is from us just to, hopefully support other families that, they're not bringing the big thing. And really another cool tip is to look at what your love language is. And maybe I'll share in the notes that I send out the free link to the love languages quiz. I think I've got it next. Oh, yes. It's understanding how you like to receive love. So some people, acts of service is my love language. My son's is words of affirmation. My husband's is quality time. My daughter's is receiving gifts, and quality time is her top one. And when you can understand how people love to receive love, it's not traditionally for a lot of people, it's not that receiving gift. So we can change what Christmas looks like. So I've shared it many times, but my mum has given me almost like a voucher for cleaning my oven as a birthday or a Christmas gift, because that is a task that I detest doing, and it normally is a year between cleaning for me. And she'll come up and when she stays, she'll clean my oven, and I adore it. I think that is the best gift. But for someone who may prefer receiving gifts, that might not be as a top of their wish list for a gift. So really consider what your love language is and what your partner's is, and maybe that could change what gift giving looks like for you. So I know my husband, who I affectionately call Mr. Farmer, his is quality time. So doing things together is of a more benefit for him. So if I just go back here. And another one we implemented was no longer giving gifts to friends' kids. And we enjoy doing something as like going out for lunch or going to a park together. Everyone brings some food along and enjoying that time together rather than having that knick-knacky small gift. So stop, focus, notice, and see if that is something you could try for your family. Sometimes it is a little bit hard to make these changes right now for 2023 Christmas, but maybe it's an opening up that communication and planning for what you're going to do differently for 2024, and maybe do that baby step approach and not flip everything upside down, but consider what options you have for 2024. Something that works for our family is my parents would like to give them a dollar figure amount for a present, but my kids didn't actually need as much stuff. So my parents actually set up a very small Argo shares account, and they would put $100, $200 into there for a birthday or Christmas present. So, and we talked to the kids about how much money is in their share account and then how much that is going to compound over time. So by the time they're 18, hopefully that is a deposit for a car, or can go towards a house deposit, because who knows how expensive things are going to be for them when they are older. And my kids are very privileged that they don't need a lot of stuff, and we have the opportunity to buy the things they need. So this is a way that their grandparents can still give them something, but it's a gift that's for their future rather than right now. And as we spoke about before, let's normalize secondhand gifts. And I would love if anyone wants to share in the chat box or unmute yourself and share some ideas you have for what Christmas gift giving looks like for you. I love this hierarchy of needs on the side, and buying being the last resort, and thinking about what we can make, what we can thrift, what we can shop, what we can swap and borrow and use what we already have. So anyone willing to unmute themselves and share what Christmas gift giving looks like for them, or give us all some ideas of what you're purchasing or not purchasing this Christmas? You can either unmute yourself or share in the chat box. Let's open up some discussion. Be brave.
Here you go.
Hi,
I'll get it.
can you hear me?
Oh, you go.
Are you sure? I like I make candles. I sort of find making candles a cheap gift. So I reuse jars and things that I've gotten from, jam or other foods, and I make candles out of those and give them to friends, or and I make biscuits and give them to, work colleagues, or family members or neighbours. My neighbours are pretty good, so I like to give them something. Yeah.
Yeah, and consumable gifts is another great example of you can still give the gift of something, but it's not going to be cluttering up people's home, and yeah, you can still enjoy the joy of giving a gift.
Yeah.
Emma, what were you going to share?
I was going to say, for my kind of extended family, you know, on Christmas Day with aunts and uncles and grandparents and cousins, I remember when I was a kid, everyone would give everyone a present. You know, the pile of presents was just mountainous. And as we've all had kids, it's just got bigger, and it just, yeah, we reached a point where we're like, this is ridiculous. Yes, we've shifted now to that Kris Kringle idea where my auntie does the roster, everyone buys one gift for one person, and then we've had quite a few years where there's been a nice framework around it where it's been said, okay, and it's a secondhand gift. So then it's almost like a challenge. People are out there trying to see what they can find. And this year they've said it's an edible gift.
Ooh.
So again, you know, you can buy something nice, maybe some food items, or make food items that people wouldn't necessarily buy every day, make it special.
Do you remember how that change happened? Was it a discussion at a Christmas or in the lead up to a Christmas? How did things change?
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't actually remember. I think it was someone just taking the lead and saying, hey, how about this year I organise, you know, a Secret Santa or a Kris Kringle. And then over time, we've also kind of then, the kids were left out of it. They were just, everyone was getting them something. And so then that's also been introduced of actually, they don't need something from everyone, and let's just, you know, one gift for one person, make it something nice.
Yeah. Nice. And there's a few comments in the chat. A fan of regifting. Oh my gosh, Kylie. Yes. We need to get over the fact that just because something was given to us, it means we have to keep it in our home. As a professional organizer, when I'm talking to one-on-one clients or in my courses, a lot of people say, oh, I can't get rid of that because Auntie Jo gave it to me. I'm like, do you love it? And they're like, no, I hate it. And it's literally on display. So if Auntie Jo comes over, that she sees it. I'm like, is that how you want your home to look and feel? Like, set your home up for your family, not your visitors, and let it go if it's not giving you joy. And if someone else can use it, yeah, let's give it a new home. And I think Alice was talking about the local Buy Nothing groups. They are an awesome feature. Mine's not as active out here in my region, but I know when we come and visit friends in Adelaide, sometimes my husband will go on Friends Buy Nothing group to see what they have. And there's been some real cool gems that people have found on those groups as well. So if you haven't already, have a look and see what your Buy Nothing group is. It's location based, so they try and keep the areas quite small, because another benefit of those Buy Nothing groups is you're interacting with the people in your local community. And a friend down at Glenelg, she actually found out that there was another group of kids the same age as her kids down the end of the street, and they became friends through the Buy Nothing group. So there's some multiple benefits of that as well. Some other ideas: an amazing vase people have found, lovely tins in the op shop making fudge for the family. A tradition, which is a gift that my mum generally gives us, and I think she might have missed it one year, and we're like, the tradition isn't continuing this year, is that she makes us limoncello each year. She used to have a lemon tree and have a lot of excess lemons. So that is a handy gift if you've got a big lemon tree with excess lemons. A limoncello was a great gift that we all enjoyed. And then in our family group chat, we would send pictures when we were consuming it, and also with experience gift vouchers that we give to other family members. Normally the joy of the gift is extended throughout the year when we share a picture of the time we have used the gifts or gift vouchers as well. So that's another idea. Did anyone else want to unmute themselves and share an idea? Or any questions so far around gift giving or anything I've spoken about? Be brave, come on. All right, I'll keep going. Keep the questions coming in the chat box. Oh, I love that. Family holiday when the kids are younger as a big gift. something to consider if you are wanting to give gifts, like what do your children actually need or want? This year, our kids have iPads they use with some screen time protection around them. But to simplify my understanding, and they would say, oh, I want this for Christmas, or this is an idea for something to give me for Christmas. I set them up with a shared note. We're on Apple devices, so they've got wish lists that come to my phone and I can see what they like. So we were at Marion Shopping Centre on the weekend, so I could have a quick look through their wish list. And if there were a couple of things that they wanted, I could see it straight away and buy them. So if you have a bit older kids, maybe have a shared note that they can add what they want into the wish list, and they don't know what they're getting. It's still a surprise, but I can get things that they actually want. It was really interesting. I shared it a couple of days ago, hiding their names, and you could see the very big difference between my son and my daughter. My daughter is a bit of a mini organizer. She went through and listed the things she wants with a website link to each of the ones she wanted. So she simplified it for me as well. And then my son had pretty much a whole pile of bike emojis because that's what he wanted for his birthday. But yeah, it's really interesting to see the differences between kids. Some low or no clutter gift ideas. I will send you this as this is in the workbook, but I'll send you a screenshot of this in the email Emma sends out to you tomorrow. Have a think about what some low or no clutter gift ideas are. The experience gifts are great ones. Memberships, if you've got younger kids buying an adult zoo membership, and then kids under 5, I think that's what it used to be, could attend the zoo for free. That was a great one. Audible swimming lessons, maybe some Netflix or some of those subscriptions, theme parks if you're up in Queensland, the gift of time, maybe giving some vouchers for meal prep, professional organizer, supporting people. I've highlighted the clean oven down there. Maybe a voucher for some pre-prepared meals. I'm a big fan of Vintage Chef. They're a company out of the Barossa that delivers fresh prepared meals every Tuesday all around the whole state, actually, from McLaren Vale right up to me here on the York Peninsula, up to Port Pirie, Clare and Barossa and surrounds. And I actually used that when I was recovering from knee surgery. I didn't want to be standing for very long. So the second week after my mum came and helped out for week 1, week 2, we got a delivery of pre-prepared meals, so I didn't have to cook as much. Have a look and see if there's any classes that would work with you. If anyone's here on the York Peninsula, the Muta Garden Landscaping Supplies actually have a year calendar of once a month at least workshops that people can attend, and I'm sure there's some similar things that people have down in Adelaide, and Emma has some wonderful workshops for free and maybe some small cost at the Environment Centre as well. And as we spoke about before, consumable gifts are good ones as well. Escape room is a great one that I've enjoyed the kids. If you do want to give a gift of stuff, the National Geographic, I'm not even sure if they're still around, but a few years ago, the kids got a subscription, bi-monthly subscription for that magazine that they read, that they then used to cut up and use those pictures in other spaces. And then also, as I mentioned before, that family group chat and sharing the joy of the experiences down the track. So that was in February. My parents and my aunties and uncles went out and used a high tea voucher that we got them. Yes, Kate, I'll share the delivery. Vintage Chef, if you Google them, and on Instagram is the one I use, but there's probably quite a few other ones around as well. This is an example of some homemade experience gifts that my mum actually gave my daughter when she was 4. And these are things that they would naturally do together when we visit Adelaide, of going on a tram, going to the beach or a playground. But the idea with this is that she's got a list of, she's got some cards and she can choose what they do when she visits together. So that might be an idea for you. And I also have this list as a blog article on my website. Another thing to consider is if you are having stuff coming into your home, maybe do that declutter before Christmas when the op shops are open and can accept your donations, or you can sell some things on Marketplace beforehand, because kids can actually play a lot deeper and for longer when there are less toys available to them. And when I work with clients, particularly with toy rooms, and when we're talking in the Clear Clutter Find Time course, a big thing that I encourage people to do is have a toy rotation system. So there's not actually many toys for the kids to play with at one time. It means there's less choice, which that means they can make a choice quicker for what they play with. It also means they can put the things away a lot quicker themselves, rather than having the things messing up spaces and causing excess clutter. So have a think about maybe doing a bit of a declutter first, but also stop, focus, notice with the things you are getting rid of. Can you make a conscious choice of not letting that style of toy come back into your home going forward, so you can reduce the amount of things you declutter each year? There's actually a lot of research, as I mentioned before, around kids playing better with fewer toys. And yeah, it's showing that there's a difference between no toys and less toys, but when there's less choice, you can play more with the things that you have around them. So yeah, some really cool things. As I come to some of the end, there's just a bit of fun. Like, what are you doing for fun? I asked that question earlier. What do you want to do over the Christmas period? And for me, I wanted to be a clown in the Adelaide Christmas pageant. So I saw the joy the clowns brought kids at the Adelaide pageant in 2019 before things got changed. And when we had the pageant at Adelaide Oval, I was a clown twice in that. So what's something fun that you want to do? And now that you've taken the time, you're stop, focus, noticing as you're going through Christmas this year, I would love if you would take the time to write down your reflections on what worked and what didn't this year, and what changes you would make for 2024. So at the back of the book, there's a page that says, while it's fresh in your mind, take some time to see how you felt this Christmas. Like, what would you do again? What would you do differently? And pop those answers in your Christmas decorations as you pack them up, as a little reminder for what Christmas 2024 will look like. And look at what next Christmas, what are you going to stop doing? What can you delegate to someone else to do? And what do you want to continue doing? Because has anyone aware or come across Bronnie Ware, a palliative care nurse? I'll look at the chat box. Bronnie is a palliative care nurse, and she had the privilege of being with people in their last moments. And when she was talking to them, she would find that there's 5 common regrets that people in palliative care have. They wish they had the courage to live a life that was true to themselves and not what others expected of them. They wish they hadn't worked so hard. They wish they'd had the courage to express their feelings. They wish they'd stayed in touch with their friends, and they wish they'd let themselves be happier. And these are probably good things to reflect on. We have Christmas as a time to hopefully get together with people that are important to you, but are you making sure that you're actually enjoying it? And see and make sure in your life in general that these aren't going to be any of your regrets, and you have the power to stop, focus, notice, and make a change so these aren't your regrets going forward. And I truly believe living with less stuff and making more time to enjoy your life and collect moments with the people that are important to you is a great way to achieve some of these things. We've got a few minutes left together, but if you want to continue getting some tips from me, not just around Christmas things going forward, I would love to connect with you on Instagram if we aren't already. That's my favorite place to hang out, and I share a lot of Let's Be Real moments over on stories. And I've just started a podcast, so I can be in your ears and you can get some tips around decluttering physical spaces in your home. So currently I will just share the link here. The first episodes are going to be around clearing out your wardrobe, and I share a bit more about my story, and then we'll get into the mental load and decluttering the kitchen going forward. So if having me in your ear and you're a fan of podcasts, please follow along on Spotify. and Apple Music. And yeah, if you want to have some little videos to get you started in the Be Simply Free Facebook community, you can access them straight away. I don't think have I got them here. Yeah. There's 6 videos that I filmed during lockdown. Remember that Pizzagate lockdown we had here in Adelaide in November 2020? There's 6 videos to help with your decluttering there. So they're a little bit old, but the principles are still the same. And yeah, if you want to work one-on-one with me or in a group course, you're welcome to follow along, Be Simply Free, and learn about the course. We're going to be starting the next round of the Clear Clutter Find Time course on the 8th of January. So you're going to really start 2024 with a plan of attack of how you can declutter your life and spend more time collecting moments, not things. So I will stop sharing and go back to the chat box and see if there's any questions there. Does anyone have any questions they want to unmute themselves for and ask me? Or Emma, is there any questions in there?
No, I feel like we've been kind of answering questions as
Cool.
we go. I know for myself, when it comes to stuff, I'm really, really conscious of the environmental impact of, every single thing we buy has been made somewhere from raw materials that have come from somewhere, transported, halfway around the world. And it needs to have a life to justify all of that. And with young kids, you just see the stuff that pours in. So I'm really conscious of that. And I think the hardest part is, I guess it's that kind of that peer pressure or that social norming, isn't it? That you want to still fit in with everyone around you, and you want your children to fit in with everyone around them. But I don't know. I think I've just decided for us, this is too important. It doesn't matter. I don't care if people think I'm a bit odd or haven't, done the socially right thing. I think it's just so important. And it's great to see people online tonight, because I also reflect on the fact that it only takes a few people doing things differently to actually create different social norms, and so it just needs a few of us that feel confident enough in ourselves to be able to say to people, hey, I'm freaking out about the state of the world and I don't want more stuff, and the more people can say that to, the more people hear it, and most people go, yeah, actually, I know what you mean. I just don't know how.
Yes, and I think
it's about being brave, isn't it? And actually saying it to people in a polite way. And I think, you'd be surprised how many people do get it.
I think that starting is the hardest bit for so many people. And in general, decluttering, that's what I hear as well. It's like, I'm too overwhelmed to start. So we continue going around on that hamster wheel of life and doing the same thing over and over again. And we've spoken about it before, Emma, like your journey and sharing about your buy nothing year was a real point for me to think about, like, what are we letting into our home? And like, I profess that I used to be an op shop dropper-offerer and would just drop things at the op shop and feel good for doing that, but never shopped in it. And I think we really need to talk about that circular economy. If we're going to have secondhand goods, it's wonderful to donate them and sell them, but we also need people buying them, because I need to look up the current stats, but op shops and charities spend a lot of money sending items to landfill because they just can't keep up and sell the demand of things that's donated to them, or the quality of the goods that are being donated to them is not worth people selling them. So did you want to share a bit more about your buy nothing year, and did you write something about that, or is it somewhere that people can see something?
I can't remember. I feel like it was a little while ago. Yeah, so when my son was a baby, and he's 6 now, so let's say 5 odd years ago, we were already kind of mostly getting stuff secondhand and kind of really thinking about this stuff. And I remember reading about someone that had a buy nothing year, and that concept of like a challenge kind of sat well with me, because it was a way of saying it to my husband, getting him on board. The kids were probably too young to really have them on board, but it was also about being able to say it to friends, say it to family. This year, we're trying to buy nothing new apart from, groceries and those kind of things, but nothing new when it comes to clothes, homewares, toys, books, the works. And we were doing some renovations at the time, so some of that building material stuff as well. And it was surprisingly easy. The more I started looking for what we needed, it just makes you realize how much stuff is out there. Far out, like, yeah. And I guess the things that we didn't find easily, you know, like most people, I'm reasonably time poor. So there'd be a heap of stuff we didn't find easily. And so we just went without. You know, it was like, oh, the kids probably need a pair of rubber boots for winter, but I can't find a pair right now, secondhand in their size. Yeah, they'll survive. You know, it's just a winter. And so kind of delaying when you've got things. And it's been really interesting. Yes, 5 years later, we kind of mostly live that way now without it being a set hard rule. It's just kind of our default. And lots of people around me have really got them thinking, which is kind of powerful about saying what you're doing gets other people to think about it.
And I love seeing some of the outfits you're wearing, because your husband is in quite a job that you can attend some big events and things like that. So there were some really cool outfits and some vintage items from older people in your life as well. So those items had stories behind them as well. And if anyone's interested in following someone that's been on a year of no purchasing, the .broke generation on Instagram, Emma Edwards, she talks about her journey of not buying anything for all of 2023. So she's currently in it, and there are a few things she's going to purchase in early 2024, and then she thinks she's going to go back to that in 2024 as well. And I think the more we talk about it and share the ways that it's working. The other key thing that I noticed from you talking there, Emma, was a lot of the time we feel like we need that instant gratification and to purchase something straight away. And sometimes there is a little bit of planning and thinking about what you truly need. For us, when the kids have something that an item they want, I've got a note section in my phone of the op shop things that I'm looking for, and knowing what size the kids' shoes are or their clothes size, and that's written in my phone so I can keep an eye out for particular items that I'm looking for. And as you said, a lot of the time we can live without those things that we felt like we needed to buy straight away. So yeah, have a think about maybe 2024. Instead of more, it's a year of enjoying what you have. And yeah, you don't have to go to the extreme that Emma did. Maybe it's no new clothes purchases for summer, or looking at particular areas of your home. But yeah, I hope today has given people a little bit of an idea of what Christmas can look like for this year or 2024 and beyond, but also about living with less and having more time to enjoy life with the people that are important to us for the future as well. Yeah, I believe that we don't need as much stuff as the marketers and society would tell us. So if there's no other questions, or if anyone doesn't have any other questions, we will head off. But as I said, welcome to continue the discussion. Send me a message on Instagram, or Emma will send out all my details, and I'll send out the workbook and a few extra attachments through to Emma, and she'll get them out later on this week. But it's been wonderful joining you all live, and thanks, Emma, for having me.
No worries. Thanks, Bridget, and thanks everyone for tuning in tonight. Oh, I'll let you go.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.